Hey now, and welcome down to KCToyreviews. We are here today with a very exciting review with Cad Bane by Hot Toys. Specifically Cad Bane from the book of Boba Fett, not the Clone Wars. And clearly, as you can see in front of us, and well, typically as always, Hot Toys has absolutely killed it with this one. There are very few drawbacks, and I will mention a couple little gripes, but overall, this thing is damn near perfect. So, if you're at all curious about those details, then let's go ahead, hold each other's hands, and dive right the hell goddamn in. Alright, so here we are with Cad Bane by Hot Toys. Now again, specifically from the book of Boba Fett, which, in my opinion, was left to be desired. It wasn't that it was horrible. Believe it or not, I actually rewatched the entire thing the other day. And unfortunately, I would say that and Obi-Wan were probably two of the weakest of all the new Star Wars shows. And of course, at the end of Boba Fett, tragically, and I say tragically because Cad Bane was an amazing character, and dare I say, even frightening. Well, Boba Fett just basically hit him with a stick and killed him? And I say question mark because basically everybody comes back to life in Star Wars, and I have actually heard official rumblings that Cad Bane is not dead. So I'm absolutely crossing my fingers we will see this frightening, badass character once again in the Star Wars universe. And as you can see in shot, the Western vibes are all over the place. I mean, this literally looks like he has been ripped straight from an old Western movie. Right down to the brown tones and the type of materials that his clothes are made from gives it this very rustic Western look. And as far as the head sculpt, well, if you ask me, it's pretty goddamn amazing. Almost realistic looking. The eyes, the paint tone, and the overall artistic representation of Cad Bane from the book of Boba Fett is spot on. And of course, not only do you have this awesome, scary, yelling face, we have the regular stoic look. Whoop, gonna knock him over there. And then we have this kind of like, hey, I'm mad, I'm waiting for you, I'm impatient, angry look over here. And you'll see them swapped on and off throughout the video, but both of them, same thing, incredible paint application. The only thing, whoa, he almost took a nosedive there. The only thing that happened on mine, and you can see on this one, there's no magnet. It actually fell out. In this one, the magnet's in there. And I don't even know if I can get in shot. It is this ridiculously small magnet that fell out of one of them. And actually, I take that back. It fell out of this one and this one, where you kind of just have to place it back in there. A little dab of super glue is going to fix it, so it's nothing I'm complaining about too much. It's just always disappointing to spend, I mean, shy of what an Xbox would cost and something to have quality control issues right out of the box. Now, as far as swapping them on and off, it's probably going to have the same magnet issue, but we take that hat off, and if you're curious what his little bald Cad Bane head looks like, it looks like that. It almost looks like a scuba diver with his air pack on the back there. But anyways, you take that face off, you can see that there's a magnet sitting right there. It's actually supposed to be in that little grooved notch right there, but it's dropped the face. But it ended up sticking to another magnet that's underneath it, so I can actually move that one around. So this one is missing it as well, and we can kind of just jimmy this on for now. It's not working as well as I thought. There we go. Now, I'm not bashing it by any means. The face system is easy to swap on and off. In fact, it's incredibly easy. It's just my magnets fell out of my face sculpts, so I do have to add super glue to fix them, but it is an easy fix to a very smooth system to swap these faces on and off. Now, while we are on the subject on the face, articulation on the head is a little bit stiff due to these hoses. Now, you'd figure these hoses, that came right off. I didn't even know it could do that. But anyways, looks like those hoses can come right off. We'll take that, put them in bald mode. But turning the head, actually, let's see. I mean, it's not horrible. I don't want to bash it too much, but when you turn it, it moves his entire backpack as well, which is a little Velcro system, so you kind of put it back on. Oh, looks like this side came out too now. We got stuff coming out. Oh, what's going on? This guy's coming apart everywhere, coming around downtown. But again, as you can see, the system on the backpack, it's a little stiff because it moves all together. It's not, again, horrible. It's just something that you kind of have to jimmy around and work with. And just a quick look at that backpack. Very nicely done paint application. If you can see there's almost like a slight weathering over the metal there. Very realistic looking breathing apparatus, backpack thing, whatever the hell this is. It totally reminds me of Bane, like some type of system. If you unplug these, he's probably done for. I don't know. Now, tailoring on the jacket is, I mean, absolutely incredible. You have this inner silky layer, this matted outer layer here. I mean, overall, the tailoring on this thing is amazing. And just the way all these little patches, the pockets, the belt buckle here. Looks like you can actually unvelcro that if you want to see what Cad Bane's sexy body looks like, but I'm not in the mood to do that right now, nor will I probably ever do that. But anyways, these little patches and these little badges here, to me, they're very reminiscent of kind of like a rebel-looking badge. And then down here, you have these leather, pleather-ish belts, which obviously, depending on your climate, be careful because those could deteriorate over time. As far as accessories, we have these guns here. We have one in each hand, and then there's going to be a flame blaster that I'll show you at the end that you clip onto his little gauntlets here. But just really incredible detail. The contrast between this really sharp, vibrant blue and then these earth tones is amazing in my opinion. Articulation on this guy and bending him back and forth is incredible, and due to the cloth suit here, there's probably not going to be too much fear of ever really damaging him. And as you can see there, just super easy to pose and really however the hell you want on this guy. And one thing I was a little bit disappointed at, and because he's so incredible, I don't think I'm going to botch it too much, but no wire in the coat cape area here, this trench coat thing. It's not a cape, trench coat, whatever the hell we want to call it, but man, if we had a wire, the poses would have looked out of control. But as you can see, it just kind of flat lays over top. No matter how you want to pull it back, it really wants to wrap back around there. So all the poses are going to be a little bit static as far as how the clothing is going to look on the top there. And lastly, I mean, same thing with the legs. We have double jointed knees here. I'm not going to probably put him in too many crazy poses, but same deal. You can pose those however the hell you want. Amazing articulation. There is no split cut to the boot. I know that's a big thing nowadays, so the only articulation you're going to get is right at the top of the ankle there. And of course, articulation aside, the boots look pretty fantastic. I mean, slightly real looking, a weathered / western look. You have those bullets that are wrapping around the top of it. Other than the fact that there's no split cut on these, I think overall they are pretty fantastic looking. Now on to one of the most disappointing parts of this entire review, the Tatooine foot printed stand that Hot Toys is continuing to put out. Now this thing is such a big piece of crap garbage that I just want to throw up when I'm looking at it. Like, I'm serious, I want to throw up all over my knees. It's just a disgusting piece of crap stand. There once was a time where I enjoyed this thing, and then it started to annoy me, and then it started to piss me off, and now it just makes me want to throw up all over my knees. It's just, I cannot stand that they're including this thing still. Why are there printed feet on it? At least get rid of the printed feet. I think if we got the Tatooine stand and there was no printed feet on it, I'd be a little bit happy. But this feeling of a dictatorship where I am supposed to put my feet in those two spots, or else it's basically awkward feeling because they just feel weird when they're not in those spots, is super disappointing. I just hope eventually Hot Toys retires this big piece of crap stand. And then on top of that, they gave us a flight stand? I mean, I get it in the Clone Wars. He did some jet booster things around his ankles, but he didn't do those things in the Book of Boba Fett. He was just this badass Western bounty hunter that scared us more with his words and looks than his actual moves. So the flight stand is a very peculiar choice, especially because you definitely do not want to have that thing around his waist, grabbing and crushing this guy over time. If you have a crotch grabber, use that, or there's always the trick of using the waist grabber around one of his legs to prevent him from falling, versus crushing and damaging anything around his waist. So one last time. That was just this is a horrible noise that I made, and I apologize. It was just really creepy, but this is just a piece of crap stand that we just retire, Hot Toys. Just retire this piece of crap. And just a quick glimpse of, I don't know if I'm even saying this right, Todo 360? You're going to skewer me, but the Clone Wars was a very painful watch. I thought it was an absolutely awful, slow-moving child show. And yeah, I said it. So I'm not that well versed on Todo 360 here, because unfortunately he was not in the Book of Boba Fett. But with that said, it is an awesome little addition. Obviously you can see this clear stand that you can barely see in shot here, and then articulation on the arms. You have these little rocket boosters on his feet there. You can move the legs, move his head. So it's a pretty cool little accessory that they ended up giving with the deluxe version that can spruce up and add a little bit more life to your Cad Bane display. And of course a quick side-by-side with Boba Fett. Now this is of course the seagull pooped all over me version of Boba Fett, but this is the one that I loved. The repainted version just wasn't for me. I always prefer a weathered version. They might have went a little bit too far with this weathered version. Nonetheless, side by side, they look incredible with one another. Cad Bane clearly a little bit taller than Boba Fett. Again, maybe this is a screen accurate thing. And I'm probably going to say it 100 more times. Did Boba Fett kill Cad Bane with a stick? I mean, I know this is the Tuscan, Gaffy, Giraffe, Garaffa, Jaffa, I don't know what the hell the official name of it is. I could have looked it up, but it was basically a wooden stick that he killed Cad Bane with. We're forced to accept that that's how Cad Bane was defeated. And regardless of the outcome of that show, having these two side by side on your shelves clearly has some incredible shelf presence. A stark contrast between both characters. I love the height difference. And of course the quality on both of them is hyper realistic. And there we have it. Cad Bane by Hot Toys. Now, before we slap a score on this guy, some final closing notes. For starters, I think this is immediate, instant classic. This is going to sell out, especially the deluxe version that comes with Todo, and Hot Toys has brought one of the most ruthless bounty hunters in the Star Wars universe to our shelves in a 1/6 scale format. The clothing, the tailoring, and the proportions on this guy look damn near real. The jacket could have used the wire on the bottom, a little bit on the sides, but I think the overall amazingness kind of overshadows that it doesn't have a wire, and I'm not bothered too much by it. It just would have been a bonus. Articulation is top notch, maybe not so much in the head, but throughout the body, you have double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, all with a cloth suit on top. Leaves it so basically you can pose and do whatever the hell you want with this guy. And as you can see clearly when he spins in shot, he has some incredible shelf presence. With 3 swap out faces, the flame gauntlet, and a couple of guns. Then side by side with Todo, his robot. Then throw Todo side by side with him. And there are a ton of posability options. I already find myself struggling to figure out what pose I'm going to end up putting him in on my shelves. Now, with all that said, we have to note one last time that, well, the Book of Boba Fett was not that good. It brought us this amazing character, and of course they really drilled in those Western vibes. I mean, dare I say Cad Bane was probably the highlight and one of the best parts of the show. And as I said throughout the video, he's damn near frightening. His face, the way he carries himself, the way he talks. He is just one badass, ruthless bounty hunter. And I think as soon as we saw him on screen in the Book of Boba Fett, we all wanted him in a 1/6 scale format. Prior to this, the only Cad Bane I am aware of is the disguised Cad Bane with a clone trooper suit. So if you have that one and you're a Cad Bane fan, can you imagine the incredible upgrade that you now have? I really cannot stress, I am blown away as this thing spins in front of us. The quality, the overall likeness, and the representation has been ripped straight from that mediocre show. And I'm doing this review a little bit late, so Ahsoka is finally out, and I thought that was incredible. So Star Wars is definitely back on track. Obi-Wan, absolutely hated it, piece of crap. Book of Boba Fett, you know what? It could have been a little bit better, but I enjoyed it. The Mandalorian, of course, we all love The Mandalorian, and now we have the amazing Ahsoka to round them out. So I am really crossing my fingers that Boba Fett didn't just kill him with a stick, and we get to see this incredible character again. And with all that said, I think it's a perfect time to round this out and throw a score on this guy, and well, as he spins in front of us, I don't think I can think of anything wrong other than that lack of wire in there. A little bit of stiffness on the head articulation, but those two things are such small gripes that it's not going to bring it down too much, so I'm ranting and raving. I'm going to go with a 9.3 out of 10. As I always say, it just hits me like the tip of a lightning bolt. Just my body just feels that lightning bolt of a score. It jolts through my body, out my mouth, and I just spit it out. 9.3 out of 10. It's just what I feel. It's just what I feel. A 9.3 out of 10. And with that said, I highly suggest you get this piece, and not just get it soon, because it is most likely going to sell out, especially the deluxe version with Toto. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here today with a 9.3 out of 10 with Cad Bane from Hot Toys. And we'll catch you guys next time as we all cross our fingers we see Mr. Cad Bane again in the Star Wars. Not even sure what type of accent that is, but it doesn't matter anyways. See you guys next time.